and welcome to Mrs Patnell's lesson 3 of this week. We're going to look at common exception words and writing a few more on our boards today. We're going to read some sentences, have a challenge sentence to write, and we're going to do some flashcards as well. Let's start with those in fact. Let's bring those over. We're going to flash through them mighty quickly today because we know them so well. And I'm going to skim off my phase 2s and start with my phase 3s. Yeah. Or oo. Or yeah, mainly yeah. Ear. Feel free to do the movements that we do with these sounds. We spoke about them yesterday, so feel free to do them. Air. Oi. Ow. Like in church. Or. R. O. I. E. A. N. The. Ch. K. Z. Z. X. W. V. J. Sh. Unk. Hopefully my washing machine didn't disturb you too much through those. Let's have a little look at some phase 2s. S, usually at the ends of words or the ends of syllables. 2 of those together, strange looking cursive ones. F, at the ends of words or syllables. When you have 2 of those. K, kicking curve. S. N. Ah. G. Fabulous work on your flashcards there. Let's pop those out of the way. Okay, so we're going to have we're not going to sing the alphabet today. I'll give you a little break from that today. We're going to revisit writing some of our digraphs. Can we go with, first of all, so you've got your pen and your board or your paper in your hand, can we revisit the digraph shh, Mrs Patnell's favourite digraph, shh. As it's a digraph, it's 2 letters making one sound, so I'm going to give you a sound cradle. What are those 2 letters to make shh? Hopefully on your board you have written the letter S, or its name is S, and the very tall, or its name is H. So shh, there is your digraph. Shh, hopefully that's written on your board. Remember to write it nice and small and neat now. You don't have to do it as big as mine, I'm just doing it for the camera. Oh, I appear to have lost my cotton wool. There it is. I've got it back. Okay, next what I want you to revisit is the but usually y sound. So it's a trigraph, 3 letters making one sound. It's the y sound. When I get my mixing bowl out and I go like this and I say it's but usually y. How do I write those 3 letters making that one sound for our trigraph? Tricky one this. I don't get you to do this one that often. It is the letter or its name is U. Next to that is the letter R, or its name is R. And then last of all, it's the letter E, or its name is E. So you should have wrote y like that on your board. Let's do a couple of phase 2 ones, because there are some letters we won't have written in our revisiting, because I'm always doing digraphs and trigraphs. Can you have a go at doing the letter B? One of our least favourites to do, because we've always got to think about what side we do that tall stick on. But remember, the bat will come first, the ball will come after. Bat and ball both begin with B. So the bat comes first, then the ball after. So have a go on your boards doing a B. If the bat comes first, we're going to go up tall for the bat, come down, go up again halfway up, round for the ball and tickle the belly underneath. Now, if you don't do it cursively, then do it the way you would normally do it. But there is our B there, okay? Let's do a couple of other single sounds. Let's do a D, because we get those two regularly mixed up. So let's have a go at doing a D on our board. So have a go now doing a D on your board. So if you're writing D on your board, you are going to start, if you're doing cursively, like a curly cur, go up and round, come back round. Oh, there's my curly cur. But then I'm going to go up tall on this side with my stick, down and a flick to finish, okay? So that's what my cursive D would look like. So make sure it's around the right way, otherwise it'll make it tricky to read your own writing later on when you think, is that a D or a B? That doesn't make sense. Right, so now we're going to have a look at some common exception words. We're going to look at the phase 4 common exception words, so those ones that have a little green top on that we've been looking at. We're going to have a go first of all, and I'll bring them over to the camera, of calling out to the screen what they are. So I'm not going to put them out in 4s this time, I'm just going to hold them up to the screen. Ted, we might need your help if you can help us out at all. So we have got have. Remember, they're all helping you apart from that doing a little holiday on the end. And this one, a split digraph here, magic E, turning it to I. So we've got like. This one, we've got our sound, but just an hanging on the end doing nothing. So were. This one here, very tricky one, this one. It blends like on but we don't say on That O is making a W sound. One. This one, they're all really helping you. Apart from the E on the end, that is being really lazy and not really doing anything. So, little. This one, the O is being tricky and making an O sound. So we've got O, so. This one, the E is doing really nothing, and the O is making an sound. So we've got some. If that was some, we've got the O making an sound again, the E doing nothing. So we've got come. This one, the W, the letter W and the letter H, using their names there, are just making the w sound. This is making more of an O sound, the A. Okay, so it's what. So it looks like wat, but it's what. Okay, so that's what. And these ones, we're actually going to have a go at writing in a moment. So this one, we have the poke your tongue out digraph at the beginning, and then these are making an air sound here on the end. The air, there, it's over there. This one, now this owl sound, as I've told you before, will become familiar when you do phase 5 in year 1. So that is another way of doing an owl sound, so out. So that will become less tricky when you start to do phase 5. This one, making an oo sound, oo, do. This one, the W and the H, making a n, when. So not too tricky, you just got to remember that he really is just buddying up with his W there to make the w sound, n, when. This one looks like aid with the A sound in the middle, but this sound, the A and the E, are making an sound. That's their only tricky bit. Said. Okay, so we're going to have a go at writing some of these on our board, alright? So, I think we should probably cover our board in these words so we don't forget how to write them. So let's tackle said first of all. Said, we are doing said. How do we write said? There are parts that are helping us and parts that are tricking us. So cover your board with said right now. I'm going to come a little nearer to the camera to do mine. Said. Parts that are helping us. I remember that S is helping me at the beginning, but then the S sound in the middle is made with what would normally make the A sound. So it's an A followed by an I, making the S sound. Said, and the D is helping us. So there is said. You could take a minute to write said all over your board. There you go. Remember, if you don't write cursive, then do it how you would normally do it. But you could cover your board, oh, my went a bit dodgy there, in the word said. Well, it's not giving me the best writing, and I've joined some of it together there. Look at that. Covering my board in said. Maybe you could get your parents to time you for 1 minute. How many times can you write the tricky word said on your board? I'd love to know how many times you could do it. So if you're in my class, put it on tapestry. How many saids did you write in 1 minute? Okay, so that's said. Let's have a go at writing when on the board. When. Now remember, the W and the H, the W and the H are just making a W sound together, so the rest is helping you. So it's not too tricky a word to write when. So let's have a go on our boards. When. So the W sound is made with the W. Now let's do that together because that's a bit tricky. We're going to whoosh up. We're going to come down a bit wonky, not straight down. Up a bit wonky, down a bit wonky, up a bit wonky. So whoosh up. Down, up, and a little arm to finish for a cursive. Ooh, tricky one that. Then we got the... He was just budding up with the W, not really making any sound. And then N, helping you. We wrote when. Let's cover our board in when. Maybe you can get your adults to time you for 1 minute. How many times can you write when on your board? Don't forget to keep track of those down, ups on your okay, because you don't want to get carried away and it just looks like a crazy zigzag pattern. But how many times can you write when on your board? Okay, let's go with another common exception word, writing it. Oh, this is a nice one. You should be able to get lots of these on your board in 1 minute. What have we got? Do. D helping you. Oh, making an oo sound. Do. So let's write do on our boards. The D is helping us. Just an oh, making an oo sound. There's do. You could get yourself timed for 1 minute. Cover your boards in do. How many times can you write do on your board in 1 minute? This isn't 1 minute that I'm doing it for. You'd have to stop and do this afterwards, of course, because you know what 1 minute feels like, having done the maths videos a few weeks ago. Cover your board in do. So you've got lots of experience of writing it. Okay, let's look at out. Here is out. Remember that O and is going to be an ow sound you become more familiar with as you get older. So ow and then t is helping you. O and making the ow sound and t is helping you. So I'm going to write it on my board. O and making the ow sound and t on the end. And then I'm going to cover my board in out. Out. I wonder how many you can write. I wonder which one of these common exception words you can write the most of in 1 minute. Would it be do because it's a shorter one? Or I wonder if the what would be the tricky one. Sorry, when we did, didn't we? Because it had that W at the beginning, maybe. So I've covered my board in outs. Lots of outs on my board. So our last one today that we're going to write is there. Okay, here is there. And this is there as in it's over there. There are quite a few different theirs in the English language, but we're focusing on this one because we use this one quite a bit. So there. So the t and the h is helping us. So poke our tongue out for the sound. And then the is making the air part. Making the air part. So I've got my t and h, or my T and H making my familiar the digraph. And then is making an air sound, being tricky. So I'm going to write them on my board a few times. This one's quite a bit longer, obviously, so you might not get this on your board as many times as do. And you can cover your board in there. So you get really used to writing it and your board is absolutely covered with them, okay? So have a go at timing yourself for 1 minute doing those different common exception words. Right, okay, I have a sentence for you to read here today. In fact, I've got two for us to read. Let's bring it over, Teddy, excuse us. So here is my first sentence. I'm hoping you can see that all right with the light on in this room. It's a bit dark outside at the moment, which isn't great, but hopefully you can see that. Maybe if I go a bit closer to the light. Okay, so you can pause the video to read this sentence by yourself, and I'd like you to give that a go. to have a go at reading it by yourself without my taking you through it. But I am going to go through it now, so hopefully you've had a chance to read it yourself already. So I have got a common exception word at the beginning. I have got come. The O is making an ah sound, the E is doing nothing. So come. Another common exception word. To. Another common exception word. My. Come to my. This one's nice with a digraph at the beginning. Shop. Shop. Come to my shop. With lots of coins. Come to my shop with lots of coins. And on the end, perfect punctuation, a full stop. Lovely finger spaces to make it excellent to read when I come back to it later on. And a capital letter at the beginning. Excellent stuff. Let's flick to this sentence. So just make sure you can see the whole thing. There we are. There is our sentence. So you can pause the video to have a look at it and read it by yourself. But I'm going to go through it with you now. I'm not happy with these creases. Is that a bit better? So, I have got the common exception word that we all recognise, I. Then I've got three sounds in this one with a digraph at the end. It'll, will. Don't forget, if you don't have to blend it out with your voice anymore, you can probably blend it quickly in your head and just say it as a whole word. Then start doing that at this point in the year. That is absolutely great. I will be old. I will be old in, common exception word, looks like one, but we don't say one, we say one. I will be old in one, two syllable word. Let's deal with the first syllable. Dread. Hundred. I will be old in 100. Got a trigraph in this. Years. I will be old in 100 years. Lovely full stop, because this sentence is a statement. It's not a question or an exclamation. So a nice full stop on the end of our statement. We've got finger spaces so we can read each word clearly, and a beautiful capital letter for more reasons than one. It's the beginning of our sentence, and when we're talking about ourselves saying I, we always have a capital letter. So there's our reading of our sentences today. Now your stretch task and the sentence I want you to have a go at writing at home is, now this has got a 3-syllable word in it at the end, but I don't want you to be put off by it. You can certainly give it a go. And you've got to think, what type of a sentence is it? So how are you going to punctuate it? Don't forget your capital letters and your finger spaces. And your sentence is, are you afraid of thunderstorms? Are you afraid of thunderstorms? So don't forget, on my thunderstorms, I've got my tongue poking out. Thunderstorms. Are you afraid of thunderstorms? How do I punctuate that sentence? What kind of a sentence is it? Put it on tapestry if you're in my class. Show it to an adult or anybody you happen to come into contact with this week so they can see your amazing writing. Correct anything that's not quite right when you've spoken to your adult, and give it a tick to all the things you've got right, and also pat yourself on the back for your hard work. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.